You are learning how to collage with Red Wizard, and today I'm going to tell you all about how to cut with scissors. Now I understand that you probably know how to cut things with scissors, but I'm going to show you a few tricks that really might make it very helpful for you to do very well controlled cuts. I'm also going to show you different ways to approach different images and with a few recommendations on how to cut certain types of things. I hope this video is helpful for you. First, let's talk about the scissors that I have here. Here I have a nice but basic pair of quilting scissors made by Fiskars. And over here I got these fancy Nakabayashi Japanese made scissors. Now each of these scissors I think are anywhere from like $16 to $26. This one's a little bit more money, but I do a lot of cutting, so it's worth it to me for that extra comfort and that extra accuracy. For you, any pair of scissors should do. I have here in front of me different pictures of gemstones. So I don't want you to get distracted by the content that I'm cutting, but I want to help train your eye to look at each one of these objects a little bit differently. We're going to approach each one of these rocks a tad differently depending on the shape of the rock. So let's do this square first. The first tip is cut as much of the rest of the paper off that you don't want from the object that you want. It makes it easier because you have less paper to wrestle around with. So if I just want to cut this off, I'm not going to accurately cut it out. Ooh. Guys, you just learned one of the most important lessons in collage making. Always check the back of the image first, because there might be something a lot cooler on that side. I almost committed a cardinal collage sin. Okay, blue rock's great. Blue Buddha chillin', jade goddess, blue rock piece. All right, we're changing this lesson up a little bit here. What I want to do is I want to use my nice long pair of scissors to cut around this object so I'm not wrestling with a whole big piece of paper as I'm cutting. The smaller piece that you're working on, the better. So, in interest in keeping things tidy, I'm just going to cut right on these white lines here, and I'm going to line my scissors up as straight as I can and cut through. Okay, put this off to the side. Okay, so now that I have less junk to wrestle around with, I'm going to take my fine cutting scissors, the scissors I'm most comfortable with doing small cuts with. And what I'm going to do, this whole video is centered around this trick. What I'm going to do is I'm going to keep my scissors relatively still. I'm pretty much going to keep them pointing away from me this whole time, and then I'm gonna rotate the paper around into my scissors. My little saying is, scissors cut, paper moves. So instead of turning my scissors, I'm going to turn my paper and feed the edge of the image into my scissors. Turn, turn. Keep turning like that. Scissors cut, paper moves. Now notice the motion of my scissors might be a little bit different than you're used to as well. The actual biting action of the scissors, the opening and closing of the scissors. I never close my scissors totally all the way, because that's what gives you that like stop in your cut, and then you usually get like a tooth. That's what makes your images look serrated when you cut them out. So I have the image as deep as I could comfortably go into my scissors. I slowly cut, then before my scissors close all the way, I'm gonna open them up, do the same thing, ride them out, then my scissors are almost gonna close. Open them up. Scissors cut, paper moves. Cool. Now, that's a good looking rock. Your next tip, you're always better off cutting into the object a bit than you are leaving a halo around the image. Okay? So if I'm going to cut out this guy here, I'm actually going to be cutting into the statue a tad, because I don't want this bright orange halo around it. Now in certain applications, maybe you might want that, but in this case, I'm going to cut it off. So again, I take my larger scissors. Now you'll notice I'm going to cut around this a little bit closer. Move this out of the way. Always keep your space tidy, guys. Don't overwhelm yourself. Okay, so same thing. Scissors cut, paper moves, but in order to avoid this orange, I'm going to be cutting ever so slightly into the blue object. People are going to have a hard time telling that this picture, you know, isn't inside your other picture right from the get. So if we analyze our scrap here a little bit, you can see that in fact I'm not some kind of insanely perfect cutter. I just cut into the object a tad to have it super clean. Let's look at these other gemstones. Before each cut, you want to come up with a plan. Even a 1 second plan in your head. You want to identify what you're cutting and how you're going to do it. For example, this galena, I guess that's what it's called. I'm going to approach this cut a little bit differently. This element is not a very smooth looking one. So for a cut like this, I don't want you to approach the cut as like you're drawing with your scissors around the perimeter of the object. Instead, because it is made up of these straight lines, any object like this, or something like if you're cutting out like a building or a door or a window, anything with straight lines, if you are using scissors, I think it's smart to just approach this as a series of smaller straight cuts. So I will cut once here, turn my paper, cut again, turn my paper, cut again, turn, 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 so on and so forth. Okay, there you have it. So again, approach each side like its own separate straight cut. Now you are going to be limited by the length of your scissors. That's why I do recommend scissors like this if you do want to do super straight cuts. Now, cutting with scissors does have its limits. The main thing that scissors aren't very good at is cutting objects out cleanly and leaving negative space. For example, if I were to want to cut this out with a pair of scissors, I would have to go from the edge, cut through this image, and then cut that out. Scissors aren't good for that. you are going to want an art knife for something like that, or a craft knife. People often call them Xactos. Another thing scissors aren't that good at are getting very straight cuts. For very straight cuts, you're going to want to use a ruler and a craft knife. To learn more about these tools, please watch the next video. And a reminder that I do have an Amazon affiliate store where I sell all of the tools that I use in case you're interested in buying them. Now again, I only make like a quarter. If you buy like a $15 pair of scissors, it's not much. This isn't a plug, it's totally a plug, but it just helps me out. Thanks for watching, guys. Go to the next video. Right now, immediately, don't stop. Keep going.